This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we break down one of their records. We get into how it was made, the lyrics, and everything in between. But we're actually doing a soundtrack this week. We're starting soundtrack season right now. We're getting into Napoleon Dynamite, the original soundtrack to that, and we're just really going to talk about the movie because the soundtrack is pretty. There's not a lot there. Also, this is the video podcast. We're starting this now. We're recording ourselves, so bear with us. We're still kind of learning, and it'll get better. It's gonna get better. After 8 years, we're finally taking the dive into the video podcast. So yeah, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. All the social media is at Asinine Radio, so go follow us on there, share all the posts, and that's it. That's all I got for the boring intro. So let's jump right into it, Jeff. Let's get into Napoleon Dynamite, why we chose Napoleon Dynamite this week to start off soundtrack season, and then just the movie and song. What do you got? Why did we do Napoleon this week?
Okay.
Go. Yeah.
I don't know why we chose Napoleon. I think we just chose several movies that were in the contention. It was just like, why? Just movies that like either had good soundtracks that we could get by talking about constantly, or movies that we know so well, like at the back of our hand, that we could talk about for like 2 hours. And Napoleon was it's a funny movie. Like
it is.
I don't think anybody on earth thinks this movie is not funny. I don't know. Although I don't know. Maybe outside of the US, because again, like country music translating to like England and how that's not a thing. Mm-hmm. Because this is rural America, dude. Like Napoleon Dynamite is rural America. Like this is podunk fucking Idaho here. Is this funny to other countries? Is this funny to people outside the US? I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
Maybe
with Napoleon, as Uncle Rico says, it's more than just like where it's located, the location. It's just how stupid and awkward and weird and uncomfortable it is at times. But I don't know. I'm curious if people like Skip out in England, what he thinks about it. And then I know we have a guy out in Australia named Alex. He listens as well. I'm curious
we got some boys in Chile too. All the boys in Chile
down there. Yeah, that's right. Chile. That's the right way to say it.
Yeah, in Chili's.
In Chili's. You had the Chili's in Chile.
Dude. Friday nights at Chili's. Tableside walk. $5 margaritas. Dude, Chili's.
I really like Chili's. I think it's great.
Chili's is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, yeah, so I'm also curious if Napoleon Dynamite, the movie, was popular outside of the US. But yeah, let's get into our origin story with the movie, and so what do you got? Go.
I mean, we saw this in theaters. I saw this with Ryan, maybe John, maybe you, but yeah, we saw this shit in theaters.
I was there with you, yeah.
Yeah, we saw this shit when it came out. So like our origin story is like from the beginning, and I come back to before the pod. I really do come back to this movie probably at least once a year, and just throw it on. Yeah. Because it's like good, it's good wholesome entertainment, and the kids can watch it, and they think it's funny. Everybody thinks it's funny, and it's just, dude, this movie's really, really good.
It is really good. My origins. I'm going to flex a little bit here because why not? I can do that. I did see it before I went and saw it with you guys. So, friend of the pod, Annie, she really knew about all the indie movies and shit like that. So she told me about this movie, Napoleon Dynamite, but it was only being played like in Orange County. It was only being played in one theater, and it was in Irvine. It was like this little it was literally only one movie theater in this place, and her and I saw it there. Have you been there really?
We went there maybe with Annie too to see the Aristocrats.
Oh, was it there? Okay, so you know exactly where I'm talking about. Okay,
tiny fucking theater.
Yeah, it's super super tiny in Irvine, and so that was the first time I saw Napoleon, and then I went back and then I watched it with you guys, and much like you, I watch it at least once a year. It's so funny, and what's so cool about it too is like it's not gross in any way. It doesn't really have any low hanging fruit. It's just it's just weird, quirky, fun, and I don't know. I just think it's a really funny movie. Obviously, the way they marketed it and the way people just constantly quote the movie over and over again, it can get a little tiresome, but
it's slowed down a lot though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, the first 4 or 5 years, I mean, you go to Hot Topic and half the store was Napoleon Dynamite shit.
Yeah. As it should be. It was great.
It is. It really is good. And I mean, just if we're going off that real quick. So the budget for this movie was $400,000. The gross revenue of the movie was over $46 million. And that's just the movie. So I can't even imagine how much money they made in merchandise.
Just on those Vote for Pedro t-shirts alone. Dude, they probably made fucking 10, 15, 20 million dollars.
I know. It's crazy. Did you, so something I found out this week was that there was a video game on the PSP and the DS. Did you never played it though, right?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed until this week.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, but I looked it up and it looks terrible. And it has shit reviews. So
shitty reviews. But yeah, there's a video game, there's a TV show.
Yeah, I didn't go back and watch that. But
I never watched the TV show and I didn't care. There's talks of a sequel coming out.
Yeah.
Like they've talked about it for years, but like now there's like direct talks of like, hey, we should put a sequel out and the anniversary of it, which would have been this year, but that's all right.
A sequel would be stupid. I don't care how they did it. I know what's his John Heaters. He's talked about like, I think if it's going to be done, it has to be done. It has to be very, very dark, and like everything has to change about the movie. And it's just like, well, then what's the point? Just make a new IP and just make a new movie. Don't make a sequel 20 years later. It's silly.
It's okay to leave in the past. It's fine.
Exactly. And then, like I was saying, this whole movie was based off of a short film called Peluca, that they had put out like a couple years prior. It's an 8-minute short. Did you watch it?
No.
Really?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had it queued up for like a week and a half, and I just never did it.
I mean, it was only 8 minutes, so I don't know what the issue is there.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, that's fine. Well, anyway, I watched it, and it's all in black and white. It was shot on 16 millimeter film. It is very, very student film, DIY. And John Heater's in it, but Napoleon, his name's not Napoleon, it's Seth. And then he has Pedro, his friend, and then another friend, which I can't remember, but it's not the same actor who plays Pedro in this. But it was fine. It was fine. It had nothing on the movie. That's for sure. But let's get into it. Let's I guess, do you want to just kind of how do you want to do this? Run through the soundtrack or run through the movie and then talk about the soundtrack?
It's probably like run through the movie because the soundtrack's good. It's not great, but it's good. There are iconic songs in the soundtrack, but it's a score mostly. But like what makes this movie is the nuance. Some of the little character traits, what these characters do in kind of like the backhand of their dialogue is what makes this movie like S tier instead of A tier.
Yeah, a lot of, I don't even want to, like, the score is just like a Casio beat, like playing on like a cheap Casio keyboard. It's that beat with like just a few notes thrown. Like it's nothing. It's not like a big, orchestra score or anything like that. But yeah, I guess let's just kind of start with the first part of the whole movie, the intro, the credits, the opening credits. So, I mean, this plays the White Stripes song, We're Going to Be Friends, and which is, obviously a great song. And that's a great opening credit too, with the credits being drawn on the food.
Yeah. It's
so cool. I thought it was I think it's fantastic.
There was
very indie, very quirky.
That opening didn't exist. It was just like the movie just started. And they thought about putting the credits in to the movie when it first started, like when Napoleon's just standing there before the bus scene. And then the guy who plays Kip, they were like, "Oh, we need kind of like a true opening credits because when is this movie set? The only way you know when this movie is set, like a period piece wise, is in the opening credits. We know it's set 2004, 2005, which is crazy because that's when we graduated high school.
I know.
And so otherwise, you would think this movie's probably set like in maybe the late 80s. But then the Jamiroquai song didn't come out fucking 1999. So all of these things don't make any sense. And so that intro part was done as like an afterthought to get people to know like when this place was set. And then I think it was just John Heder or the director, Hess boy, whatever his fucking name was.
I think it's Josh Hess.
Josh Hess. It was just their hands. It was just their hands plating the food.
Well,
and then they sent it to the studio, and the studio's like, "Nah, dude, your hands are ugly as fuck, and they're gross. We're gonna send a hand model out to redo that shit because it's nasty." And then after I read that, I watched it again. It's like, oh, dude, like the skin tones for sure change, and the thumbs are different. Those are not the same fucking. There's like 3 different hands there.
Yeah,
I never noticed that before.
I never noticed it either. Yeah, until I read that. But what a weird detail, like that this. And I guess like that was the only real note that the studio gave to Josh to change in the movie was that opening credit, and I thought it was great. And then they filmed they ended up filming all of those shots in somebody's basement. I forgot Josh's friend's name, but in his friend's basement they filmed that entire credit scene, which was. I love that too. They didn't like go to some studio in Hollywood and do that. They did it in fucking Idaho or Utah or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, also this whole movie was filmed in Idaho. I think it was like Franklin County, Idaho. So yeah, Franklin County, Idaho, in 2003.
In 22 days, start to finish, done.
It's fucking fast. Franklin County is Josh's hometown. So he knew a lot of people there, and most of the people, or a good chunk of the people in the movie, are just locals. They're not even really actors. They're just, he casted them because the budget, and why not? I mean, it gives it more of an authentic feel, like, you know, small town rural feel, and it totally worked.
That's why the credits are like fucking. There's like 300 people in the credits because they credit everybody in that school, like all the extras, like 200 people in the credits. They no speaking parts.
I know. And speaking of the cast, the girl who played Deb, I didn't realize until this week that it's the same girl from Waterworld, the little girl from Waterworld. Yes, because I kind of looked up everybody's like, you know, IMDb and their page and everything, and I looked her up, and yeah, that was like her first movie. She was already like a pretty established child actor, and but that's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But now that I think about it, it's absolutely her. She has that very distinct face.
It kind of like, I don't want to say like a chubby face, just like a thicker face.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy.
And what's cool too is, so like John Heder, the guy who plays Napoleon, he's just friends with Josh, and you know, he, like I said, he did the short film with him prior to this, and then he hired John to do the movie, and they only paid him $1,000 to star in this movie.
Sit.
And then after, you know, how well received it was, they negotiated a different contract, and he ended up making a lot more. But dude, $1,000, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's like, you know, that seems pretty standard for taking the risk of making an independent film. It's like, hey, I would give you $1,000 and maybe your career takes off because of this. And it was nice to know that he had the contract got renegotiated, so he didn't make a ton of money off of that, but didn't have to. Like, you got paid $1,000. That's all you fucking get.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Could have been.
But in the end, I am glad that he renegotiated it. It didn't ruin the friendship, and I mean, John Heder has nothing but like positive things to say about this movie, which is, I mean, this is really the biggest movie he's ever been in. But
I mean, like, talk about a dude that got like instantaneously typecasted. Like, you're fucking done, dude. Blade for Glory was like the next biggest thing that he did. Exact same character.
Yeah, and then he did what was that baseball one with David Spade and
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers, yeah.
Exact.
Never saw that
characters. One. That was a good. That's a pretty funny movie. That was a good, like, fucking hotel room movie.
Hotel.
Yeah, you're in the hotel. You know, I'm a little hungover. I'll watch a movie at noon before we go out and start our day. Benchwarmers on. I'll watch that. Hotel room movie.
That's the perfect way to describe that. Those, I know exactly what movies you're talking about. Hotel movie.
Yeah.
The middle of a day, middle of a Saturday or Sunday.
And you're still kind of recovering a little bit. Like, let's putz around a little bit. Let's order some room service maybe, and let's get ready for tonight. I want to watch something, but I want to be invested.
Yeah. And you're flipping through, like, you know, the main channels like TNT, TBS, which would obviously be the channels that play this kind of movie. Damn, that's good.
Did you also know that John Heaters and Pedro have identical twins in real life? Both of them.
I knew John had an identical twin, but I didn't know his name is Efren Ramirez. I believe that's his name. But I didn't know he had a twin as well.
They both have identical twins.
Efren Schultz.
There, it's gone.
There you go. So let's get
back to the White Stripes songs. It's a good song. Mm-hmm. It's a fun song. It's a simple song. Not much really to it. Do you remember like Conan had the last episode and it was like a big thing, and then like Conan loves White Stripes and he loves that song specifically, and that was the song they played. I not watched that video. I not like listened to it. I think since it happened, kind of obnoxious Jack White reimagining a song that just doesn't need to be reimagined.
But it was still a good rendition. I mean, Meg White, obviously she can't play the drums, and she clearly can't play the guitar either.
She can't fucking sing either.
Yeah, she can't. She's just not good when it comes to music. That's true.
But no, I didn't like that rendition whatsoever. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was silly. But yeah, I don't know. It's a good song. It's a good, fun song. And that's a song that we sang at camp for many years afterwards. But yeah, that's it. I know it would probably, whatever. There's another beer.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a lag, so that was just trying to play along there.
It was just kind of like we're wrapping up. We are going to be friends. It's a great song. It's a perfect song. There's just not much to it, and that's what's so good about it. It's just a good, wholesome kind of folky type song.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a lot of fun to sing. Also, Conan O'Brien's podcast, Conan Needs a Friend. The intro to his podcast is this White Stripes song as well, which is he clearly does love the song.
Dude, he loves this song. He loves the White Stripes. He's all about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was when he had Jack White on his podcast like 6 months ago, and the way like they are actually really good friends in real life, which is I think that's super cool. And then he's just making fun of Jack White for like his house, and everybody like has to wear uniforms and shit like that.
Oh my god!
He was talking about like his pressing plant, his record pressing plant. Is like everybody's like uniform there and all that kind of shit. But he was like bagging on him about it.
Jack White is like one of the coolest musicians that have ever existed, at the same time as being one of the most fucking obnoxious people that has ever existed.
He's one of like the few pretentious people that I put up with.
Yeah, that's what he's so fucking. There's that one video where he says, "Oh, you can make anything out of a guitar." Or into a guitar. Remember? And he's like wearing like a fucking $5,000 suit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know." Just have all of these pieces lying around, and he's smoking like a really nice cigar. Like, man, fuck you, dude. Who's time for this shit? The fuck out of here.
That was a great movie, though. Fucking gay over here. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, that was just the intro. Oh, also in the intro, like all their dishes correspond to like the person they're talking about, right?
Does it? I didn't notice that.
So like John or Uncle Rico with the steak, which is like the fucking worst looking steak of all time.
I know. Looks so
Uncle
bad.
Rico's steak, like that corresponds to Uncle Rico's steak all the time.
It's gross.
And then Kip with the nachos.
But then I also wanted to
try that mountain of fucking cheese. I don't know if you caught that one too. The mountain of cheese you had on those nachos and that one scene in the kitchen.
Yeah. Now that I think about it,
like what are you doing with all that cheese? That's stupid. It's stupid. And then Pedro had the corn dog meal from school where Napoleon takes all the tots that Pedro had like meticulously placed into a nice pyramid. And then Deb has the peanut butter sandwich, which actually in real life, Deb is like deathly allergic to peanuts. And so she's eating a jelly sandwich. And then Rex Kwando had the foil ninja star.
Yeah.
That's because he's a ninja.
Yeah, wow, I didn't even notice that. That's perfect. That makes it even better. Dang. Okay. All right, let's move on from that then. Let's get into the next song or the next part of the movie. I think maybe we should run through the movie and then
usually you run through like the plot and then you go like here this part and this part and then we kind of like, oh, this song's
cool. You're right.
I
do that as well. So yeah, at this point, you know, the credits end. Napoleon gets onto the bus with the other kids, and I've always thought it was funny how all the kids are like 8 years old and he's a grown ass man.
He's 26. And, he's 26 years old when they shot this movie. And Pedro was like 32.
I know it's crazy. It's so stupid, but it makes it funnier. And then he takes the action figure. It's like on the fishing line, throws it out the window, and it's just like, man, dude. When we were 8 years old, that's exactly some shit we would have done.
because it makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
There's no purpose for it. You don't get anything from it. He's not even looking at it, which is exactly what we would have also done because you don't want to get in trouble. And the way he and remember those fucking buses, dude, like to pinch the windows in, to pull the windows down, to pinch those tabs in. Dude, like if the bus wasn't like a new bus, pinching those tabs in, not going to happen. They were stuck in that position forever. Like our little fucking hands.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, right? Like you could never.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I take the bus a lot.
I only took it for field trips. I never took it for school.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Pretty much until high school, really, I took the bus and like pinching those tabs in. You're just like, you're never going to pinch those tabs in. They're stuck there forever. But yeah, also the song, dude. The songs the guy that did the score for this, not any of the actual songs, John Snow, whatever it is. He dude, these songs are good, man.
That is really not his name, though. I was kidding.
It's John Sweetheart, not Sweetheart. There's no T. It's just Sweetheart.
Okay, Sweetheart without the T. Got it.
Yeah, but the guy's just like a really, really well-rounded musician. He plays just a ton of like instruments, and he's a good composer. And the songs that play that are not actual songs are all pretty much him, and they're all fucking really, really good. And the first time we hear it is this one. It's a lot of kind of like the beeps and the boops, like very funky, but kind of almost like an Moog synthesizer going on.
Yeah, the beeps and the boops.
Yeah, I don't know. He's done a lot of cool shit, dude. Like he's done a lot of stuff for TV, a lot of stuff for movies, video games. So I want to throw him out there.
And I think that style of music fits this movie perfectly because it still has that kind of cheesy 80s sound to it, but it's very kind of bootleg and yeah, it sounds like it's done on one of those cheap Casio keyboards. It's great. I love it. I really do.
He did a lot of work with How I Met Your Mother, so that's all right. I hate that show. That show's not very good. It's overrated. It's stupid.
That show, it's not very good. It's not very good. Come on, guy. Come on, guy.
That's right.
It's not.
Anyway,
all right. So
on the bus,
yeah. So he gets to school. At this point, he has to get up in front of the class to talk about some current event or some shit like that. God, school was so dumb. It was so dumb, but we all had to do it. And then he makes up this story about how the Japanese media reported that they put a bomb at the bottom of Lake Loch Ness and tried to blow up Nessie out of the water. It's like. And nobody questions it. The teacher doesn't question it. The kids, nothing. It's just so dumb.
Here's why that part is even like better than normal, because that's a silly, like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? But what makes it even better is that he fucks up the first line. He says they tried to like blast Nessie, and he says like Blessy, and he kind of like stops and he shakes his head and he starts over and says it real. It's like, dude, like this budget was so DIY. This budget was so low that you couldn't even afford retakes. He's like, fuck it, dude. We just got to keep it in. He fucks up in like the first 3 seconds he starts talking. The first 3 seconds he fucks it up. Oh my God, it's so funny.
I don't remember what song it was, and I didn't put it in my notes because I'm dumb, but there was one song on the soundtrack that actually ate up half of the entire budget of the movie. Do you remember what it was?
It was a Jamiroquai song.
Was it Jamiroquai? Oh, yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was, because it was between 3 different songs. Oh, we'll get to that. So yeah, there's the scene in the class where he tells that bullshit story, and then he jumps to he's getting bullied. Napoleon's getting bullied in the hallway at school, and then he calls Kip. He goes to the nurses the office. He calls his brother Kip. So now Kip is introduced, and he's asking to get picked up, and Kip says no because he has to talk to hot babes or some shit like that on the internet.
I've been talking to hot babes don't be jealous. I've been talking to hot babes all day.
That's what it was.
What are you talking?
And then he asks, oh, well, at least bring my chapstick. And he says, no, the nurse has chapstick in her office. She has like 5 sticks. Something like that.
I know she has like 5 sticks in her drawer.
I know. Oh, that scene, that introduction of Kip, I thought was it perfectly like shows what we're going to be expecting from his character. Talking about the hot babes on the internet, just saying the dumbest fucking shit ever, and his voice is just makes it even funnier.
He's so soft spoken. We already know like where we're gonna head here. We know that Kip's kind of gonna be like the bitch of the family, right? He's gonna be like this loser, but really like Kip has like the best life of all of them. Like he meets somebody great. He's madly in love, and he has like the best life of everybody. But it is really funny because Napoleon, like, given that Kip is like objectively probably 10 years older than Napoleon, and Napoleon just wants to go home because he's got his fucking ass kicked by that fucking bully in the hallway.
Yeah.
And then like his lips are all chapped up, and he's asking his like older brother. It's his brother, right? It's his brother. He's asking his older brother for help. His brother's like, nah, dude, fuck off. Like you think you should feel bad for Napoleon, but you feel bad for Kip just because he's such a loser, right? In that little moment.
Yeah. Well, I think even at some point in the movie, Uncle Rico says that Kip's 32 years old. 32 years old. Yeah. That's a fun little fact.
28. He's like 14 years older than Napoleon, if Napoleon's 18.
Yeah. So yeah, at this point, it jumps to Pedro. We meet Pedro for the first time. Napoleon, they meet, him and Napoleon meet, and then he tells him about his bike, his really cool bike, and then it goes to
sledgehammer.
Was that what he calls it? I don't remember now.
Is it called the sledgehammer?
I don't remember that.
Did you? So before we get to the next scene, when the principal's talking to Pedro, and he says his name Sanchez, he says Sanchez, and it's just like,
does he really say it like that?
The way he says it reminds me of the way you say Pinchy or Pinchy.
I don't say it like that.
Pinchy.
I don't say it like that.
Say it. Say how you say it.
Pinche.
That's not how you used to say it.
I used to say it differently, but now I know how to say it, so I don't say it the wrong way.
That always reminds me of the way you used to say Pinchy. It was like Pinchy.
I used to say Pinchy. Yeah, I used to say Pinchy.
So funny. Also in the background too of that one, you see the trophy case behind the principal. And I mean, I'm just like IMDbing facts here, and then I watched it again. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. But in the trophy case behind, you see a second place trophy, and that is supposed to harken back to when Uncle Rico talks about how he got put in starting in the fourth quarter, they would have won state instead of getting second place. So that second place trophy is because of Uncle Rico.
Dang, that's a good little Easter egg or little find there.
That's a deep cut, dude.
That's really good.
But also, like, the way the principal was talking to Pedro, a little condescending, right? A little fucking like, do you definitely speak English?
It's for sure racist. Yeah. For sure racist.
Yeah. Funny, I guess. Is that funny? That's funny. It's funny.
Well, I mean, we only laugh out of, being uncomfortable. That's why people laugh. So they meet, they're talking about Pedro's bike, and then it goes to the scene where, they built this little shitty ramp in front of Pedro's house, and then Pedro jumps the ramp, and that's fine. And then Napoleon comes in really hot, and then the whole ramp just breaks, and he just like lands right on his crotch. And it's dumb slapstick, but it really worked. It was really fucking funny.
So now I can draw diagrams and pictures.
Yeah, you can. So that's exactly what you're doing.
I am. Did you notice the reason why the ramp broke is because the ramp is like this, and when Pedro jumps it, there's a cinder block right there.
I can't believe you just drew this right
now. and when Napoleon jumps it, that cinder block is missing, and the cinder block is moved there. And so when you're hitting the ramp coming this way on a bicycle, 150-pound kid with a bicycle, this just buckled.
It breaks,
yeah. But when Pedro jumped, so they moved it. It's like somebody moved it before Napoleon jumped. So somebody sabotaged Napoleon. That's what I'm saying.
Pedro secretly did that.
Somebody did.
So yeah, we get to that part, and then it immediately jumps back to Napoleon and Kip's house, or the grandma's house, and they're fighting. They has them in a headlock, and they're just brothers fighting each other. And then the grandma comes into the scene the first time you meet their grandma, and she's like all pissed off, and she's like, I'm going to go hang out with my friends or something like that, or with your aunt or something. And then they're like, okay. And she just takes off. And then we never really see her. We only see her at the very end of the movie, and then after the credits as well. Like she's referenced, but we never really see her.
Oh, so you did watch the wedding scene.
Yeah, she was in the wedding, or she's not in the wedding, but
I didn't know if you're going to watch the wedding scene. Did your homework? Look at that. Well, you don't do your homework.
You gotta watch it. Oh my god.
So let's backtrack a little bit, because Grandma comes in, Kip's on the computer, and he's like, I'm doing whatever the fuck he's doing in an internet chat room, which is funny because, I mean, like, internet chat rooms, dude, the Yahoo chat rooms, those were fun. Like, And I feel bad now as like a grown adult because maybe other grown adults were in there for the same purpose. Because I think an inner chat room would be cool now because you could talk about like-minded people, talk to like-minded people about things that you have in common. But what I would do in the internet chat room was a little bit different. I would go in there and troll and be a complete fucking douchebag asshole to everybody possible. So that's kind of sad. But also, this is when we get to see Kip make the mountain of fucking queso, right? He puts a huge thing of cheese on his nachos. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna draw you a picture.
And none of it, none of that cheese is gonna melt, or most of that's not gonna melt.
No, it's just put it in the fucking oven for half an hour. There's no fucking way.
Shitty fucking nachos.
It legit looked like this. Like that's.
Cannot see that, or I could barely see that. That is just a terrible. That is a terrible drawing. You can't do that. You can't do that. But anyway,
that's the plate. That's a chip, and that's all the cheese. That's legit how tall it was. I'm all about this visualization thing here.
You are. I could just put a video or a picture of it, when I edit this. But that's fine.
That's true. But also, but also, this is when the grandma asked Napoleon how his day went, and he said it was freaking horrible. What do you think? And it's like, why would you talk to any adult like that? And why would you allow like a child to talk to you like that? Like, how was your day? And she was trying to be nice. She's like, how was your day? It's freaking horrible. What do you think? Like, first of all, bro, watch your tone. Calm down there. Reel it in. Slow. And she pulls out that dish for Tina, and it's got like fucking flies all over it. Like, why are there all these flies in the house? Like, again, just to podunk fucking Idaho. Good Lord.
Apparently Jackson County too is the southeast part of Idaho, so pretty much on the border of Idaho and Utah. And Josh, the director, Josh Hess, he went to BYU. Like he is full into the Mormon stuff.
Dude, they're all Mormon.
Yeah.
I think except for Rico and like Deb, like the main cast are all Mormon.
John Heater is too? Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess if they're friends, then that makes sense. They met at BYU.
Not even that long ago about like the cartoon, and he was like, "Yeah, if I get bigger roles, there are things that I just won't do if I don't feel comfortable like as a person or my religion. I won't do them because it's not about that. Like I'd rather lose out on money and roles than do those things. I'm like I like that actually. I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't.
Sex scenes, like mostly. He said, "I just won't do sex scenes."
I mean,
but there's also another guy
John
too.
Heater, do you want to see that?
Another guy too that always plays bad guys. He was in the Avengers movies. He was the bad guy in Walking Tall. I don't know if he's Mormon, but he also doesn't do sex scenes. And if you saw this guy's face, if you saw this guy's face, you would think, "Oh yeah, I fucking know that dude." He doesn't do sex scenes for the same reason. He's just like, you know what? I'd rather just not have fucking money.
Okay.
I'm going to Google it right now and then show you the guy's face. Or just tell you the guy's name. That's his name. Neil McDonough. Donough. Mick Donough. Google that name right now.
I am doing that.
Do that right now. That guy will not do sex scenes because he
the
says,
guy looks familiar, but I don't think I'm...
And do something I don't want to do.
I respect it. That's
cool. I like it. Fuck it. Why not?
I do too. Yeah, I do too. All right, so let's get back into this. Back into the movie and the songs.
Anyway,
so at this point, the grandma leaves, and there's a knock on the door. Napoleon answers it. It's Deb. We're introduced to Deb for the first time. She's trying to make money for college. She's going door to door selling keychains, and it's so stupid, but it makes me laugh every time. Napoleon asks Deb, "Oh, why are you doing this?" She says, "Oh, I'm trying to make money for college." And then in the background, very faintly, you hear Kip say, "Your mom goes to college." And then it's a shot of him, and he's like chuckling to himself. Yep. Dude, it makes me laugh so hard every fucking time. I know
he doesn't even laugh. He smugly smiles like yeah, I got you, bitch. I got you.
Oh my god,
that's so stupid. But remember, after that was over, like how many people said that kind of shit? Like your mom does.
I know.
Your mom, like dude, everywhere.
I did it.
Years.
Everyone fucking did it. Yeah,
I still do it. Still do it.
I still do it. I do it to Tammy all the time.
It's such like that's a conversation in there, but in a way that you want it to end. And all those little lanyards and trinkets that she made, John Heater helped make those on off times.
Oh, that's
he
cool.
knew how to do those. So him and some of the other cast members would make those for that specific scene.
That's pretty cool, though. I like that.
Everything
DIY, man.
In-house, man. Everything in-house.
That's cool. So at that point, she leaves in a huff. She's upset, and she leaves all of her stuff on his porch. And then it cuts to Napoleon going out with Tina's food, and you find out Tina is just their pet llama. And
is it a llama or alpaca?
I think it's a llama.
Oh.
No, it's a llama. Yeah, it's a llama. And then he's like, eat your freaking food, and he just throws it on the ground. Doesn't even like actually feed it to her, just throws it. So that was another thing too that became really popular was Tina the llama, which was just so dumb. But
why?
Whatever.
Llamas are cool.
Llamas, come on, dude. Nobody says llamas are cool.
Llamas are fucking cool. Like if you're gonna have a pet, like a dog, a cat, even worse. Like some of the coolest
pets you allergic to cats. That's why.
It's like pigs. Like pigs would be a fucking dope like pet as long as it doesn't get into a big ass hog. Like the fucking with a hog. Yeah. Llamas are dope. Like there's a lot of cool fucking pets. Ferrets are cool.
Ferrets are cool. Yeah. All right. So at this point, okay. So it cuts from feeding Tina, and now Kip needs a ride into town to go to some mysterious place. So then it goes to Napoleon's riding his bike, Skip's on rollerblades and being pulled by Napoleon, which is so fucking funny. And it's so childish. Like it's seriously something that we would have done when we were kids, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe even as grown-up adults too. So that's good. And then they end up going to this dojo this guy Rex Kwon Do owns, and it's the guy from the Drew Carey show. I don't remember his name right now.
Diedrich Bader.
That's it. Yeah,
He's so fucking funny.
He is very funny.
Everything he does, he is so goddamn funny. Remember Office Space when he's Office Space?
Yeah, he was
so
Office
goddamn
Space,
funny.
He even said that his two favorite roles, his two favorite things he's done was Office Space and this one and Napoleon Dynamite as well. His two favorite
Makes
roles.
Sense.
Yeah, but he's such an asshole in this movie. He puts on like a much deeper voice, and the shit he says in this particular scene, because he calls Kip up to do like a demonstration, and he's just fucking with Kip, and then he says, "You think anybody wants a roundhouse kick to the face with these bad boys on?"
He's wearing American flag parachute pants.
Yeah, it's so good.
And he says, like, do you think I got anywhere in life dressed like Peter Pan over here? And he points at Napoleon. He's like, oh, dude, he's so disrespectful. He's such a dickhead.
and then when
he pulls his arms out,
yeah.
he's grab my arm, other arm, my other arm. Like, bro, like he's getting mad at Kip for like, come on, and smacks him on the head.
I know. And then he says, break the wrist, walk away. Break the wrist, walk away.
Break the wrist.
Oh, man.
and another thing, Kip to kick him. He just kick me. And then Kip like does like a fucking Mortal Kombat like backside like ground kick. What are you doing? Who would ever do that? It's so stupid.
It is so dumb.
Everything about Rex Kwon Do is just absolutely perfect. It's so goddamn funny.
The biggest asshole in the world. And then when he initially calls Kip up to do the demonstration, Kip stands up, and then he stands in front of Rex, and Rex says, "Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei." What a dickhead. He's such an asshole. Yet. I know. And then what does he charge? Like $300 to do his class or some shit like that?
For a month.
Yeah,
dude, that's not bad at all. If you're doing like at least 1 week, 1 day a week, that's not a bad price.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. No. I don't have kids, but
remember like the brief. There's no kids there. It was all adults.
What?
You said I don't have kids. There's no kids there. It was all adults.
No. I mean, I thought you were going to tell like a story about like how it is that expensive, like for your kids to do gymnastics or karate.
Dude, gymnastics is way more. Like when I was doing.
Really?
Fuck was that when I was doing for the brief time I did jiu-jitsu with Mark, friend of the pod, Mark with long hair, Jack Sparrow. I did probably for like a year ish, and that was like I think it was like $100 a class, so probably like 4
really
ish. Yeah, like
holy shit. I remember Tammy was doing it too, but I don't remember how much she was spending to do that.
It's not cheap. And again, it's like you're not paying I don't know. I kind of like attribute it to like when people hire a handyman to fix a problem, and the handyman comes out and he fixes the problem in like 5 seconds, right?
Fingers, yeah.
Because I have limes in my fingers.
Okay,
but don't call me lime fingers. When a handyman comes out and fixes the problem in like 5 seconds, and he's like, all right, that'll be like $400. And the guy's like, what the fuck? I could have done that in 5 seconds. Yeah, but you didn't go to school for fucking 25 years to learn how to fix it in 5 seconds. You're paying for the service, not the time. That's kind of like the jiu-jitsu thing and like the martial arts thing. You're not paying for like the time. You're paying not for the service. You're paying for the time it took you to get to that service. Anyway,
I get your
that
point.
Makes sense.
I know. I totally understand.
So pay your fucking handyman. You know what they're doing? Pay your fucking handyman, people. Come on.
So yeah, at this point we go back to Napoleon's house. He walks out of his house. That whole there's like this bossa nova Casio thing playing, and then we see our first glimpse of Dale. His real name is Dale Critchlow. He was a local farmer. He passed away in 2022, but he's a local farmer, and he's very iconic in this movie. He's one of the most iconic characters in this movie outside of Napoleon, and so yeah, he walks out of the house. He looks across the street, and Dale, the farmer, has a shotgun, double-barrel shotgun, and is pointing it at a cow's head. And he's fumbling because like he can't close the barrel. He can't get the barrel to lock in.
It's the trigger. It's because it's like
some of those
old shotguns, like the triggers. You have to fucking like pull it down hard. Like you gotta have like man strength to pull the hammer down. In order for it to come down and fucking explode. And that was based off a real event. That was based off a real event that Jess had. Is it Jess? Is this the guy's name?
Josh. I think Josh
stupid
Hess.
name anyway. Who cares?
Josh
Hess. We'll call him Jess. That was based off a real event that Jess had as like a kid growing up in Podunk, Idaho. This happened to him in real life, and so they're translates into in the movie, and it's hilarious.
And then you don't actually see the cow get shot because the school bus pulls up right in front of it, and then all the kids see it, but you don't see it on camera, which adds to the whole comedic effect of comedy of the movie.
You can't show that. That's just
yeah.
Hearing it and hearing the kids scream is okay. But you can't show that.
You can't show that. No way. So then we get back to Napoleon's school, and he's part of this like sign language group, and they have to get up in front of the class and do this whole sign language dance, I guess you could say, and they do it to the song "Love Is a River," and it's so fucking stupid, but it's hilarious.
It's a great Rose, scene. Baby boy. The song's called The Rose.
Okay, I wrote.
Some say love, it is a river. Dude, The Rose. So like it was a song written before this, but like everybody knows The Rose because of Bette Midler.
Yeah, she popularized it.
Dude, that song was a fucking banger.
It is a good song.
Absolute banger. The lyrics are phenomenal. Bette Midler is actually a fucking fantastic performer. Everything she does is amazing. She's so great. But yeah, she is. The Rose. Bette Midler. Come on. Well, we sell that shit all fucking day at my record store.
But this song in the movie is not Bette Midler's version. It's a woman named Darcy Monet. Yeah. And they hired her kind of randomly. She's in LA. She's from LA. And they didn't pay her. I don't think they paid her anything to do this version, and I don't think she was even credited in the movie. But Darcy, this version is the Darcy Monet version of it. But
it is that's because it's probably cheaper to pay somebody to cover a song, and then just pay royalties to the original artist than it is to use the original recording, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because I mean, Bette Midler didn't write the original, so if they had to pay royalties, they wouldn't be paying her. They'd be paying. I think the song was written back in like the 50s or something like that. It's some old fucking song that so many people have covered. But anyway, so yeah, that song's it's a good song. Everyone when you hear it, you know it. You instantly know that song.
That's another song we sing at camp for fucking just years,
oh
bro.
My God.
Years, bro. Yeah, bro.
All right, so then we move on to Napoleon and Pedro are talking. Napoleon. The way Uncle Rico says it makes me laugh every fucking time. So they're talking about the upcoming prom. The upcoming prom, and he says that, or Pedro says that he's going to be asking out Haley Duff, or I forgot Summer. Her name's Summer in the movie, but it's Haley Duff, Hilary Duff's sister. And and then she
bootleg version of Hilary Duff.
Yeah, see, like in looks and everything.
That adds to the aesthetic of the movie, right?
It does.
She's the
really
bootleg
does.
version. For those of us that grew up watching like Hilary Duff blossom from like a girl into like a woman, like we all watched Hilary Duff. Like, come on. And so like seeing like Haley Duff, it's like, yeah, like that's cool. Like you're still your own thing. But all they see is a bootleg version of Hilary Duff.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
that's like the perfect fucking casting, dude. Like you got an A-list star, but like a bootleg version.
Literally her sister.
Perfect.
Her sister, yeah. And so then it goes to the next shot of Napoleon and Pedro in the cafeteria, and like Napoleon just like slowly or like discreetly putting tater tots in his pocket, in his zipper pocket on his pants.
Well, he asked Pedro if he can have them. That's when the intro. Because Pedro has that metal tray that's from like the fucking 60s or 70s. And he has
which
like
adds to the aesthetic of it all.
And he stacks his fucking tater tots in a pyramid. Like he stacks them in a pyramid. Which I do that with my fries. Like when I eat French fries, I stack my fries like that. That way I can pull them off easily. But yeah, Napoleon says like, hey, can I have your tots? And he says, oh, sure, you can have my tots. And he takes all of them, every fucking last one, and puts them in his pocket. Done.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Meow.
All right, so then, so after that happens, Napoleon goes over and talks to Deb at another table. She's eating the sandwich, the jelly sandwich. Now that I know that she's allergic to peanut butter,
she has a little thing on her face right here, though, because it looks like it's peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's a little piece of bread, but it's only jelly because she's really allergic to peanuts.
There we go. And then he asks her if she drinks 1% milk because she thinks she's fat.
Because she could drink too.
Because she could drink whole milk. That's what he said.
Oh yeah. That's a pickup line, dude.
God damn, it's so awkward, but it's so high school. It's so like young, dumb kid thing to say.
What the fuck would you say that?
Oh, it's so stupid. But then we go to, it immediately cuts to the sand dunes, and you see their grandma riding on an ATV going up over the dune, flying through the air, and then that's it. It then cuts again to a brand new character, Uncle Rico. And Uncle Rico,
Lyle.
He's Lyle. Yeah, his real name is Lyle. And he's in the middle of nowhere. Has a camera set up next to his van, and he's throwing footballs at the camera. And it's just what an introduction to this dumbass character. And then he gets the call, that he has to go watch Napoleon and Kip, even though Kip is 32 years old.
Why?
I don't know. It makes
so
no
bizarre.
sense.
It's so fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And already the scene is set here, and this character that we see is Uncle Rico. We know, much like Kip in the beginning, we already had these assumptions that this guy's probably kind of a loser. This guy's a loser.
Yeah.
He's living in the past, or he's trying to be somebody better, right? Throwing that football around. Mm-hmm. He's trying to get himself into the NFL, getting himself into something better, or he's a loser. Only two. But
he's also clearly too old to make it into the NFL at this point. Yeah. He's like early 40s at this point. Or he
I
looks
love
like
that van though. That orange ass van that he's got.
I love it too.
Bunk on top, dude. Yeah, I love that van.
Oh, fuck, I saw what kind of van it was. Like a 1976 Dodge.
Like an Astro van, probably Dodge Astro.
No, it wasn't an Astro van. It was something else. It was called something else. I can't remember what it is.
Caravan.
No, maybe I don't know. It's a really cool van, and the orange colors, the orange and brown. It looks so cool. But yeah, so then we jump back to Napoleon at school. He's in class and then his bully is sitting next to him, and then the bully's asking him for his tots because Napoleon's slowly eating tots. What?
Because the way those tots crunch, you remember the crunch in those tots?
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
there's no fucking way those tots would be that crunchy that long after they were fresh. Because it was like he was eating a chip. Yeah. They're never crunchy like that. I was watching with Kaylee earlier, and she's like, "Dude, those tots would never be that crunchy." You're right. They would never be that crunchy. You're right.
It's ASMR, dude.
Dude, there's not crunchy tots. But yeah, the guy's a dick. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah.
Two biggest assholes in the movie. This guy and fucking Summer's boyfriend.
Yeah. Summer's boyfriend is the worst though, because
I fucking hate that guy so much.
Because he's a terrible actor. He's a terrible actor too, which we'll get into.
I think that's like he goes like, oh. Like these.
Oh God, I hate those faces that he
pops
makes.
His collar, right? Remember he pops.
Yeah.
Like all his shit. Now we have the visual podcast. We can do like the actual things and
I know.
make facial things and yeah. That was good. You should do that one again. Yeah, that's what he does.
That's terrible. That's fucking terrible.
Looks like are you drowning? Like, what are you doing over there? What?
Oh man.
Yeah. Napoleon's the bully. The guy's an asshole. Skinhead fucking dickhead.
Yeah, I know. And then he kicks Napoleon because Napoleon says, no, you can't have any. And then he kicks Napoleon's leg and just crushes them all in his pocket.
He says, yeah. He says, I didn't freaking eat anything all day. But he was sitting across from Pedro eating lunch, and he just didn't eat his lunch because he was really worried about like Deb. So like, I didn't fucking eat anything all day.
Oh man!
And again, like the whole like high school also Mormon thing too, like not cussing, the freaking and things like that.
Yeah.
That's all. That's funny.
It is really good. So then we jump to a new scene with back at Napoleon and Kip's house. Uncle Rico arrives, in his van. There's that like sleazy funk, like porn music playing. Just sets the scene perfectly. And then he's in the house now, and he's eating the steak on the couch. He's just standing up at the counter eating his steak.
So gross,
nasty, fucking gnarly looking steak. And he pretty much says, I'm here to watch you guys while your grandma's in the hospital because she broke her leg, and
she broke her coccyx.
Her coccyx, yeah, that's what he says. Her coccyx, which is
the coccyx is
it's a tailbone.
Tailbone. Yeah, there she is.
Tailbone. And then at that point, then they go to the living room, and he's like, "You guys want to watch a video?" And he throws in this VHS tape, and it's just of him throwing the football at the camera, and he's just so proud of himself. And
he's going like,
then Napoleon gets up and leaves, and then weirdly Uncle Rico like grabs Kip's knee, and then they both get weirded out, and then like they go on opposite sides of the couch.
Napoleon says, he says, "This is probably like the worst video ever made." And then Kip says, "Napoleon, how could anybody even know that?"
Oh, it's
so stupid comment. It doesn't. Then Enrico says, "Napoleon, well, you can." And he throws his hand up because you can leave. And then Napoleon leaves, and then Napoleon does like the thing. He's, "Gosh, you guys are retarded." And that's what he says as he leaves. And then Kip slides over.
Does not fly nowadays.
It does not fly nowadays, but it's still kind of funny. And then Kip slides over, and then that's when Rico's like, "Oh, damn, bro!" Then he puts his hand on his knee, and they both look at each other real quick, and they go, "Oh,
oh man, that's good.
You can leave."
It is good. Uncle Rico he's my favorite character in this whole movie too.
Dude, Uncle Rico's so fucking funny. Everything he does is so goddamn funny.
Yeah, he's so uncomfortable. And then when the video when he's throwing the football, or anytime he's throwing the football, he throws it like such a bitch too.
Like he never throws it good.
No,
he throws like a guy. He throws like an actor who probably has never really thrown a football in his life, and they're telling him to throw
any ball at any, like even like a baseball. You don't throw a baseball like that. It's just like
so he like sidearms it, and it's all fucking like, weird.
It's bad. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's so bitch.
Very good.
It's so bitch, but that makes it even funnier. It makes it so much funnier that it's such a bitch throw. Oh man! And then we jump to a diner which we visit in the future as well, but it's just Kip and Rico, Uncle Rico, and they're talking about their relationships and like how they can be making money. So this is just like good world building, because it's very kind of intimate, and now we're learning way more about the characters and what their intentions are for the rest of the movie. So
like
I mean,
minute and a half tops.
Yeah, but there's so much that happened. There's so much that's explained. Like
you're right.
It's great world building. So that's really why I want to talk about it, because there's nothing really funny here.
It's just good writing. This is like somebody that took the time to say, we need a scene like this. How can I put as much information into this as possible without making it seem like I'm putting as much information as possible?
And it worked.
It was good writing.
It really, really worked. Yeah, absolutely. And then we jump back to the school, or not to the school. It's Pedro, and he's going to ask Summer to prom. But he uses a cake, and he just writes, "Will you go?" He says, what does he say?
because still like the English Spanish barrier is not intact there with Pedro in the movie. He says, "I'm going to build her a cake." That's what he says.
What does he say that really?
And that shit just, dude, that fucking gets me every time. I think I'll build her a cake. It's like, dude, it's so
you
good.
kind of did it
so fucking good.
You kind of did it in the accent too, which I'm surprised we haven't done more of the accents or the impressions.
I think I'll build her a cake.
Not really.
Not really. It was all like the nasally kind of like, I think I'll build her a cake. That's so funny.
Deadpan.
You build
so
a cake,
straight.
Bro. But again, that's like the language barrier. That's the translation thing.
Great writing.
That's pretty cute, dude.
Or good acting. Both. So we have that part. There's that like bossa nova kind of Casio music playing, which is pretty cool too. And then it jumps to the next scene. I didn't realize until this week how quickly this movie jumps around. Like these scenes are a minute long, 2 minutes long.
Oh yeah.
And then it jumps to something completely different, but it still flows incredibly well. So we get to Kip and Uncle Rico on the porch on the grandma's porch eating steaks, but Kip is having a difficult time, cutting the steak
because he's weak. He's skinny.
And then you see and then you see Napoleon and Pedro coming up on a bike, and then Uncle Rico sees it. Yeah, on the pigs. And then Uncle Rico sees them coming up, and then he takes Kip's steak and then throws it, but like bitch throws it. Like he's throwing he's trying to skip a rock on water on the lake. That's what it's like.
Sidearms it. He does.
Yeah, he sidearms it like he's trying to skip a rock. So then he throws it at Napoleon. No way. And then it just nails him right in the face, knocks him off the bike. Dude, this well, first, okay, also, Napoleon's 16 years old. Let's just say he's 16. And Uncle Rico's in his early 40s, and this grown-ass man, there's a fucking steak at his nephew? What is going on?
Dude, that's like next level bullying.
It is.
That's some shit. Like, I don't even know, dude. That's so bad. It's so bad. And it hits Napoleon right in his fucking face. But the funny part is, like, why is Pedro on the pegs of his own bike? That's Pedro's bike.
It is like, Pedro's bike. I didn't even realize that.
On the pegs of his own fucking bike. And then, so like the thing hits the point. Also, that shot took 4 takes, only 4 takes, until it took Uncle Rico to actually hit him in the face. And then because the actor John Grease doesn't eat red meat, not a vegetarian, just doesn't eat red meat. If you watch that scene closely, when he sits back down, he puts his hand like this, and he spits the red meat into his hand, and he puts on the plate. Throws
no
on the plate
way.
like that.
Wait, the guy who plays Uncle Rico?
Swear to you.
The guy who plays Uncle Rico?
Yep. He like that, puts it back on the plate.
Wow, I did not notice that. That's
Straight
good.
Up.
That's really good.
Well, I do
so,
work.
At that point, Pedro leaves. Napoleon goes into the house. He's pissed off. Kip's confused, like, where's my steak go? And then Uncle Rico just starts talking. It's like, how much you want to bet I could throw a football over those mountains?
That's it, baby. That's it.
To me, that is the best line in this entire movie.
That may be the best line in the entire movie. That is so fucking stupid. That is so
say it
delusional.
all the time. I say it all the fucking time. Completely out of context. It's so funny. How much you want to bet I could throw a football over those mountains? What an idiot.
So fucking what an idiot. It's so delusional. Like, what are you talking about? And he's serious. Like, he fucking thinks it's probably like legit. Hyperbolization a little bit, but the guy's delusional. You're a psychopath. You're insane. That's crazy. What are you talking about?
And then you could see him kind of like reminiscing in his mind. And then he says to Kip, have you ever thought about going back, or like they start talking about time travel, and then Kip says, well, I did read about something about that online. And then we'll get into that in a little bit.
I think he says something like Kip, have you ever thought about like time travel? And the Kip says something, I don't know if exactly this, I don't remember, but he says like, only of course, or like, no duh, like, obviously. He says something like that.
Yeah.
Like, fucking idiots.
And then we jump back to the high school. Napoleon's playing tetherball, which is just, dude. Every time I watch him play tetherball, I think of when I was 7 years old playing tetherball in elementary school. It's just
everybody's game of tetherball ends and starts and looks the exact same way as he's playing it right now.
I know.
Like you're jumping. Oh, I miss it. Oh, you jump. Oh, I miss it. And then you get that groove. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah. Then you're done. Tetherball's dangerous, dude. That was a dangerous game.
and then Summer comes up, and then she gives a note to Napoleon for Pedro about being asked to prom, and it just says no, and then like 3 exclamation points, but the dots are hearts. And so Pedro gets rejected, and then we jump to the front steps of the high school. Napoleon and Deb are talking, and Napoleon's drawing a picture of a tiger lion mix, obviously.
True animal in real life.
It is. And it's a terrible drawing, but that comes into play later in the movie too. So once again, good writing. We're kind of building things here. We're building, his skills, his drawing skills,
bow staff skills,
nunchuck skills, computer hacking skills.
Did you know all the pictures, all the drawings in the movie were done by John Heater, except for the unicorn in the very beginning. Everything else, the liger, everything else, every drawing that you saw in the movie was John Heater.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know that.
So good. Keep it kayfabe, dude.
Keeping it kayfabe, dude. So then, Uncle Rico comes up in his van, picks up Napoleon, and then we
do we get to work tomorrow or something? I don't.
What?
I've been sipping things. I don't see you sipping anything. I read.
I've been talking. I've been moving this podcast along. I've been moving this podcast.
Are we tired?
Along.
Are we?
So
are you worried about something?
No, I just want to make sure we're not going to have a 3-hour episode. So I'm just trying to move things along here. So I'm just trying to have a good time. So then we move on to back to Napoleon's house. He calls Pedro, and all the while Kip and Uncle Rico are scheming their new get rich quick kind of business or scheme.
I see you.
So now we're what?
It looks like you're reading. Are you just reading stuff?
I am reading stuff.
It just looks like you're reading. It's like reading a book. Like you're reading a book to people here. Do people want to just hear us read books? Is that what's going on here?
They want us. Yes, exactly.
All right.
Should I not do that?
Because who says all the while in fucking real life? Nobody says
I didn't say all the while.
You did say all the while.
Did I really say that?
You said all the while. Who the fuck says all the while?
I didn't even write that in my notes.
What does it even mean? All the while.
I did not even write that in my notes. All the while in my notes.
Your mouth opened its fucking cave and said all the while. So, just saying.
Oh my God. Well, anyway.
All the while.
All the while they're scheming the new business. You got anything else to add there?
There's a part there too when Napoleon. This is the part where Napoleon comes in, right? And the kitchen table or the table, whatever it is, and Napoleon comes in, and after he talks to who the fuck did he call?
He called Pedro. I literally just said that.
Oh, I didn't pay attention. All the while got me. Oh yeah, dude. Oh my God! And then he calls Pedro, right? And then Pedro's sister, cousin, who the fuck it is, girlfriend. She's drinking a Jarritos, right? The Mexican drink, but like the label's turned. So like, if you know what a Jarritos is, you know it's a Jarritos, but it looks like it's probably like a beer. And so like, almost maybe they want you to think like she's drinking a beer in like the middle of the day as like, and she's like, "Yeah, you're Pedro's friend." He's like, "Yeah, I'm like his best friend." She's like, "Oh, he's not here. Okay, bye." But then Wayne comes back in and he sees Kip and Uncle Rico talking about their thing. And Uncle Rico stops and says, "Let's take this a little more private." And Kip says, "Yeah, it's not a bad idea." It's like, dude, you guys are such fucking idiots. Everything about you is such a fucking moron.
Oh man, it's so fucking funny. It's so funny.
I'm telling you, man, all the nuance of this movie is what makes it like that S tier comedy.
Yeah, I agree. Everything is so subtle.
Like all the throwaway lines are what makes this movie.
It's true. And then we move on to the next scene is Kip and Uncle Rico at the bowling alley, and they're scheming more with their business, and then they decide to go get glamour shots at Deb's by Deb. Yeah, glamour shots by Deb. And it's awkward, it's weird, they're picking out clothes. So more world building and more scheming on their end, but
also just knows that Uncle Rico had the bowling brace on his arm. He had the little fucking.
Did he have
on
it?
His arm? Yeah, he did.
I didn't notice that.
Like we don't see them bowl really, but like he's probably not a good bowler, but he probably still wears the brace as if he's a good bowler. It's like if I were a bowling brace. I'm terrible at fucking bowling. So
yeah, I know. I bowled with you a couple years ago. I remember that incident. Your meltdown.
I fucking hate bowling so much. Because like honestly, straight up, like I'm decent at like everything that I do. Anything like athletic, and I can probably pick up and be fine at. But I don't know what it is. Dude, bowling and just oof. Oof.
So at this point, we jump back to the high school. Pedro finds out that Summer, dumped him, or not dumped, but didn't want to go to the dance. He in turn asks Deb to go to the dance. She accepts. And then Pedro and Napoleon are talking about how he can ask somebody out. And Pedro suggests, oh, why don't you draw a picture for her? And he thinks it's a great idea. So then he decides to draw a picture of Trish.
Open the yearbook.
Yeah, pops open the yearbook, finds a picture of Trisha, and draws her. And it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's man, I'm torn because like on the one hand you think like if somebody asks you to do a dance you should be saying yes because that takes like guts and courage and it's hard, but on the other hand it's like you shouldn't have to like waste a dance just because somebody asked you. And that picture that he draws of Trish is so fucking bad.
It's horrendous. It's horrendous.
So like nothing about that. Like, bro, dude, nothing about that looks like her. It's all fucked up and deformed. It's not flattering. But because Uncle Rico was at Trish's house talking to Trish's mom, who's like 6'5", right? She's a big fucking lady. Did you notice that?
Wait, Trisha's mom?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
Dude, bro.
No way.
Fucking Lisa Leslie out here, dude. She's a WNBA player for sure. Yeah. When she answers the door, she takes the whole door frame and she sits on the couch and she sits down and she's like a foot taller than Uncle Rico while she's sitting on the couch. Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Big fucking tall lady. But because Uncle Rico was talking to her and Uncle Rico told Trisha's mom that Napoleon is basically retarded. He's like, yeah, he's my retarded son. I'm my retarded nephew. I have to come watch him on the weekends.
Dropping that word a lot.
I think that's what he says.
Yeah, he does say that. I know.
That's what he says. And, because he wants to make the sale. Because he wants to like sell those Tupperwares, those Tupperwares. The other guy, do you remember the guy trying to break the Tupperwares? And he couldn't. And his wife looks at him.
He's like, you look like a strong man. You look like a strong man. Try to tear this apart.
And he tries to tear like bro, you're never gonna tear. I don't care how shitty that Tupperware is. You are never gonna tear that.
Why are you saying Tupperware?
What do you mean? How do you say it?
It's just Tupperware. There's 2 P's in there. Well,
yeah,
you didn't say that.
Yeah, well, he tries to tear the Tupperwares, and his wife looks at him like he's the biggest piece of shit in the fucking face of the earth. Man.
And then it goes to the next shot where where Kip is trying to sell, the Tupperware as well, and then he goes to run it over, and he runs it over, and it just shatters everywhere, and he just takes off.
He goes, "Dang it!" and then takes off. Doesn't clean it up, just takes off.
Just leaves.
Like, what are you fucking thinking, dude? Like, how would that possibly? Like, they're strong for sure, but like the Tupperware's not that. No Tupperware is that strong. That's silly.
So. And then so Napoleon also caught Uncle Rico at Trisha's house, trying to sell the Tupperware to her, and then he gets upset that Uncle Rico's getting involved and interfering. So then he's yelling at Kip. He has Kip in a headlock and saying, "Why is Uncle Rico at Trisha's house? This and that. Why is he doing this to me?" And then while after he gets out of the headlock, Kip says, "You're hurting my neck meat." And that is so disgusting, but so fucking funny. Who calls it neck meat? You're hurting my neck meat.
See, you hurt my neck meat. I think you ripped off my mole. He says, "Is it bleeding?" Yeah, a little. Yeah, a little.
Oh man. So let's get into
instantaneously. They both knew they fucked up, and they're wrong there.
So let's get into the chicken farm scene, which is just, oh man, it's something else. It is something else. It's so funny, and this is the main scene where we see Dale Critchlow, the guy who played the chicken farmer, and he has it's hard to understand what he's saying. And did you read more about this guy Dale?
A little bit.
So
a little bit.
He's a native to Utah actually, but he spent most of his life in Idaho with his wife, and he was like an electrician, but he was also a farmer. And I guess like in the early 80s, he got into a tractor accident that almost killed him. And the reason why he talks that way is because he had to relearn how to talk, how to walk, and how to swallow. So he got really, really fucked up from this tractor accident, but that's why he spoke the way he did.
His face got all fucked up.
Yeah. So, and you could see it, but it adds to like the whole, the comedy of the whole movie is just kind of how, I don't want to say how fucked up he looks, but it just adds to the how rural that entire area is. Franklin County is.
They use his fucked up looks as like the butt of jokes.
Mm-hmm.
They did, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude lived to be like 95. Like he had a good life.
Like I said, he died in 2022. I read his obituary. That's how I found out about this. His obituary went over like everything.
Oh wow.
And but yeah, apparently he was like a really, really nice guy. And he, anytime like people would come through town and would run into him, he would take pictures with them and he would talk with them and tell jokes. And apparently he was extremely nice. And he loved the little bit of fame that he got. And he was like the local town hero since Napoleon Dynamite came out. So reading more about him, I like him so much more now. But yeah, the chicken farm, dude, when he first starts talking, he just ran like the
you know what he says when the first time he speaks?
I found an arrow. I found an arrowhead over in the field over there.
A fucking arrowhead. That's all I got was an arrowhead. Like basically I found an arrowhead in the grass out there.
And then so yeah, they're doing shit on the chicken farm, and then the guy says, "Oh, here's lunch for you." It's literally hard boiled eggs, egg sandwiches, and orange juice. And he cracks an egg in the orange juice. Napoleon almost throws up, and it looks so. They're all eating the food, and it all looks so disgusting. And then it goes over to the other farmer, and he's like, "Well, I forgot my checkbook. Do you mind if I pay you in change?" And then it goes to Napoleon counting change back at his house, and he made like $6.
So here's a couple things. One,
there we go.
Is that orange juice with an egg in it, or is that just pure fucking eggs?
Oh, no. It's got to be orange juice. It's not
sure?
Eggs. Yeah, it's not eggs. It's orange juice with an egg cracked in it.
Thick because when the egg drops, he sticks the thing and he
stirs it up. Yeah, he does.
That makes me believe that it's just pure fucking yolk because, dude, look behind you. It's just all eggs. It's chickens.
Everything's eggs, yeah.
And
the second thing I didn't even think about that.
And the second thing was, all he does is he pats his chest. He goes, "Can't find my checkbook." Like, bro, you didn't fucking look. No. You didn't check your back pocket, your side pocket. You didn't check anything else. All you did was check your chest. Can't find my checkbook. Like, you fucking kidding me? And he pays him $6 for 6 hours of work. What a fucking scumbag.
In change.
It's like $1 an hour.
Oh, it's so funny. So funny. So then we're back at Napoleon's house. He gets the call from Trish. She reluctantly accepts the invite. Yeah, because her mom makes her accept it.
Boy, as she says.
So at that point, Napoleon and Pedro go to the store to go buy a suit, and then it jumps back to Napoleon walking down the street with his brand new brown suit on, and it's so 80s. It's so of its time.
That's a cool looking suit, though.
I did like that.
That's a badass looking suit. I like that suit.
Yeah, I do like that one. And then so Napoleon gets back to the house. He asks Uncle Rico, "Take me. I need a ride to the dance, but you also have to pick up Trish." He's reluctant about it. He's like, "We'll have to make a sale." So he goes to the house first to make the sale. Napoleon gets pissed, just leaves, gets picked up by Pedro's brother and cousin or something like that. And then we get some music actually playing.
Finally.
Soundtrack. Yeah, right. So it's
that song is so fucking good.
It's, what is it? Zap. What's the song called? Bounce in the House or Ounce in the House? Bounce in the House.
Like the band's called Zap, and they're just like a funk band that they're from like the middle of America too, like Ohio or where the fuck in those states were. But they play with
bounce to the ounce.
Like George Clinton and Bootsy and everybody. Like they were in that realm in like the late 70s. And a lot of hip hop artists cover this song in this band. But yeah, More Bounce to the Ounce. That's a song. Fucking banger of a song. And it's a cool song in the context of the movie because it's so aggressive. That beat is so aggressive. And all you see is just like in a movie full of just ordinary looking white people, like the first time you see kind of any kind of ethnic people outside of Ephraim or Pedro. Ephraim or Ephraim?
Ephraim.
N that was an M. Not Death by Stereo. N.
Yeah.
Ephraim. Gotcha.
Ephraim.
Anytime we've seen like an ethnic person outside of Pedro, is these two guys, and they're super fucking like stereotypical Mexican looking. And we get barrel. That beat is just so aggressive. Dude, this beat is so good. It's so good.
It is good. It's really good.
That car's so nice too. My God, that car's.
It's a sick car. Yeah, it's on the hydraulics and all that shit too. It's good.
Remember they go to Trish's house? Remember the guy's like, "What the fuck is that on my driveway?" No, it's my ride. It's like the hydraulic. Dad's all pissed off. What the fuck is that? What the fuck you kids doing on my lawn?
What the fuck you kids doing? All right. Okay. Back to this.
Okay.
Back to this. Where are we at? So now we're at the prom. We're at the dance, and it's really awkward. The song "Forever Young" is playing by who is it? Who's it? Forever Young?
Banger of a song.
Alphaville. Yeah, this is really like one of the only hits they ever had back in the 80s. And
do you like this song?
I don't really like it. No, and I know like a lot of people recently have been sampling this song. I can't get into it. But
cracking a beer.
That's a beer, dude.
It's a cool song, and like the groups from Germany, and just like the brief history of the song and what it means is just like a Cold War era, like actual fear of like a nuclear holocaust on Earth, and that's what the song is about. And the song is about like being forever young, enjoying like your youth, but realizing like, do you really want to live forever? Because we're probably gonna fucking die at some point.
The way he sings it too.
Do you really want to live forever and ever? God, but the way it opens, let's stand for a while. Everyone can wait. Oh my God, this song is such a fucking banger. It's so good.
It is really good. It's not good. It's good. The song is just banger. Good. It's not a banger. It barely made my banger list. This song is a fucking banger. But yeah, the song's playing, and then Trish ditches Napoleon to go with Haley Duff or Summer, and then her terrible actor boyfriend, and then
which is fine, right? You go to a dance with somebody, doesn't mean you have to be with that person the entire fucking time. You can go hang out with whoever the fuck you want. So I don't think she's a bitch for that part. That's fine.
Yeah, because she didn't want to go either, and so Napoleon went to the bathroom, throws some like big league chew in his mouth, so he's chewing this bubble gum, and then he swallows it like you could hear him swallow it. And then he goes over to Pedro and Deb, and Pedro says, "Oh yeah, you want to dance with Deb?" He says, "I don't know but he says yes." And then "Time After Time" from Cyndi Lauper comes on.
Oh my God!
Now that song is a fucking banger.
Of course the song is a fucking banger. You're stupid if you think otherwise. Of course the song is a fucking banger. Are you kidding me right now? Are you joking my ass?
It's great. So that plays, they dance, whatever. And then we move on from this dance to to Pedro for president. So he finds out that, he can run for president. He's going up against Summer as student body president. And then, so all this happens. We start with that. We go back to Napoleon's house. The time machine has arrived, and Kip's on the computer. Kip's on the computer. Napoleon sees it. He's reading the manual. Yeah, and then he says, "Oh yeah, don't forget the crystals." They put the crystals on top of the machine.
It's rocks.
And then he puts
rocks in the little holder.
Literally, yeah, rocks. And then he puts the machine between his crotch, between his legs.
It's in the shape of a T, so it's just like a T. Yeah. And so he holds on the top part of the T of the handles, and the bottom part of the T goes in between his legs, right where his crotch is. And it just sounds like it vibrates. It's such an obnoxious frequency that whatever's touching it is going to vibrate into like infinity and die. And Kip like laughs as it's going, cut it off. And well, because like Kip choking.
Because Kip knows what's happened, because then the next part is Uncle Rico coming in because he already tried it and he got electrocuted.
He's like, I could have told you that. Well, you're not getting electrocuted. It's vibrating. It's vibrating so aggressively. Yeah. Like one of those foot massagers that vibrates too fast. Like, oh, that's not comfortable. This just fucking hurts. Like, I could have told you that. Also, like Uncle Rico's outfits. I like all of Uncle Rico's outfits throughout the entire movie. I like them.
So yes, I'd say like half of them are pretty good. Good.
Dude just looks good in all of his outfits. Everything that he wears, like all those baby blues, like everything he wears, I think it looks good in all his outfits.
Yeah, and he's a very fit guy, so like it fits his frame well. So I get it.
He's not like buff though, but he's just like kind of like skinny buff.
He's lean. He's a lean guy.
Lean.
Yeah, he's a lean guy.
But dude, that fucking blue shirt with like the fucking things,
the white thing in the center right there.
I don't know what it is, but I like that shirt so much. That's my favorite shirt.
So then we jump to Napoleon and Uncle Rico at the grocery store. And this is just world building. Like this really adds nothing to the story. It's just world building. But then Summer Haley Duff works. She's a cashier
She's working.
Once again, this is really just world building. And then all of a sudden we go to Napoleon and Pedro at this competition. So this is them trying to like, I guess, kind of impress the rest of the students at the school by being in this farming competition. So Napoleon is drinking milk, trying to figure out what the defects are in the milk that he's drinking, and then Pedro's just seeing what's wrong with the cow's udders, or seeing what the defect is on the cow physically. And it's just, once again, this is all world building. This is literally adds nothing to the story. This is world building of just the rural town county that they're in Idaho.
It's like 2.5 minutes long, right?
Yeah,
but it is. Now we fully understand that like this town has nothing going for it except for that Napoleon can drink milk and be like, oh yeah, this cow got into the onion patch. Like, really? That's it? Like that's your fucking claim to fame? Like that's what you're gonna go to college for? Like that's it? And then Pedro's like, oh yeah, that little nodule right there. That was a little bit shorter than the other ones. Like dude, anybody could have seen that. Like it was obvious. I don't know.
So then we jump back to the school. This is where Pedro finds out that he's running up against Summer, and he gets really nervous. He gets really hot, and he has to go home. So he leaves. Then we jump back to the diner with Kip and Uncle Rico. They're just, once again, this is just world building, and they're just talking about what their business plan is. And then LaFonda is brought up. Kip's online girlfriend LaFonda is brought up, and how she's coming to town from Detroit. And they're going to meet for the first time, and how he's kind of nervous. So yeah, once again, just good world building there. Nothing really funny. And then we jump to Pedro's house. Napoleon's there. He goes to Pedro's house, finds out that Pedro shaved his head. He asks why. He's like, well, I got really hot, and I thought it was, because my hair made my head hot. So he shaved his head, and it's just so stupid.
But it didn't do nothing. That's what he says. Like,
he does say it just like that.
That line just like makes him sound just so stupid, so hillbilly and unintelligent. Like, that was really hot. I thought it was my hair, so I shaved it off. But it didn't do nothing. Why the fuck would that? Are you stupid? Why would that do anything?
I know. Oy. So then they meet up with Deb. They end up getting Pedro a wig, and this is actually a throwback to the short film Peluca, because that's that's really the story in that short film, is that they're going to go shop for a wig for Pedro. So you have that, and then it jumps back to the school, and now they're campaigning for Pedro for president. They're putting up flyers. They're handing out keychains that Deb had made, and all the while the A-Team theme music is playing. So once again, we get another song from the soundtrack. So the A-Team song is playing here. And
it's like a throwaway song though, because like we didn't grow up watching the A-Team. I don't care about the A-Team. I know about the A-Team. I know like the main points and the characters and the big plot points, I guess, of the A-Team. But like I don't really care about the A-Team.
Yeah.
Do you care about the? Did you ever watch the A-Team?
No, I didn't. I watched it when I was a kid, but I didn't really care.
Yeah, I really just don't fucking care about the A-Team.
And the next several scenes, I'd say the next 4, maybe 5 scenes, there's not really there isn't a ton of dialogue. So we next jump to the bus station. LaFonda arrives from Detroit. Her and Kip meet for the first time. It's weird, but it's also kind of endearing and cute. Like it's cool. Like, I don't know.
It's meant to be shocking. It's meant to be shocking because
it's not just that. It's
meant to be shocking. It's not just that she's black, and we've watched a movie that's predominantly like white America, but it's also
so much
tall.
taller than him too.
She's so tall. So like this is meant to be shocking that like love knows no bounds. That no matter what, if you love somebody, then there is just no matter what, right? No matter what walk of life you are from, love knows no bounds. Like that is what kind of the underlying theme is going on here. But the initial introduction is meant to be shocking.
Yeah. It is
because it reaffirms the wedding scene when the guy's like doing like this thing, like, oh fuck,
with the brother. Yeah
Damn, that's racist.
Yeah, it is. And then so we
get it? His brother.
Oh, I get what you. Okay, I see what you did there. So then we jump to a scene where Trisha and Summer are walking down the like a random street in the neighborhood. Uncle Rico pulls up, hands them a flyer about breast enlargement, breast augmentation, like herbal supplements for that. And it's so creepy. It's one of the 2 moments in this whole movie that are really creepy.
Fucking boy, dude, that's like
yeah, it's weird.
Tyler answer to a T, riding that fence. Dude, riding that fence.
Wait, what?
Like, because your last name's Answer, Tyler Answer, as you said earlier.
Nobody's gonna get that reference. That's true. Joke.
Tyler Rebecca Anstead, and riding that fence. You like to ride the fence, and this joke is riding that fence between like being acceptable and being like pedophilic. So it's fucking weird.
It is weird. It's really uncomfortable. And then he just takes off. Like, he did nothing more is said. He gives it to them. And then he says, if you guys want to try it, let me know. And then he takes off. It's fucking weird.
But
then we jump.
It's not done in like a pedophilia way. It's done in a way that's like, I want to get back at my nephew who's half my age way.
No,
which is just as bad. Like, it's all that's fucking terrible. But like, that's what he's doing. He's trying to get back at a child.
I know. It's that. Oh God, it's Uncle Rico is so immature. He's so dumb. He's so immature.
Immature is a good word for that. Yes.
So then we get back to the love story between Kip and LaFonda. They're in the park eating lunch. They start like they're flirting with each other. They're eating, and then like the weird foot shot where his foot and they're playing. It's so weird. It's so dumb.
Play footsies. Come on.
And then we jump back to Uncle Rico, just driving, no music, just he's driving. All of a sudden,
so good.
A grapefruit just hits his windshield. He pulls over. It was. He screams.
He shrieks.
Yes. He shrieks. He pulls over. It was Napoleon. Threw a grapefruit, and he starts chasing him. It's super uncomfortable, super awkward. And then there's that kind of wide shot of Napoleon and Rico, and he's like about to throw another grapefruit at Rico, Uncle Rico.
Yeah, he's like putting his leg up.
He's putting like his leg up a little bit.
He does put his leg up.
Oh my God.
The meat part of his thigh is gonna like block from what?
Once again, it's the little things that just make the scene so much funnier.
But that's a natural reaction when anybody throws it. Your natural reaction is to like cover yourself, right? Like make the bulk of your body smaller. That's what he's doing there.
It actually reminds me of that one time when we were all playing baseball with Ryan. When we were all playing baseball, and then that pop fly went up, and Ryan, instead of trying to catch the ball, he put his backside out just like Uncle Rico did, and the ball hit him right in the fucking ass. Remember that shit?
Why you?
That's what it reminds me of.
That boy.
But so yeah, after he throws the grapefruit. They get in like this wrestling match, the two of them, and then Napoleon ends up like kicking him in the nuts. He runs, he hops the chain link fence, and then just like drops to the ground.
Plummets.
I mean, that was so natural. It was all real, and that shit, that hurt.
These are all single takes. Like there was no editings or dubs. These are single takes.
Very little.
They have no fucking money. And like and then harkening back to like the bike scene, like I tried to look online to see if that wasn't Napoleon, if that was some other person doing that bike scene where he hit the ramp and fucking crashed. But like for all intents and purposes, dude, these are single takes. And Napoleon and John Heer had to fucking knowingly hit that ramp, knowing that he's gonna get fucked up, and did it anyway. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I paid $1,000 for it. That's wild. Like, hey, jump that fence and fall on your fucking ass. Here's $1,000. Like, no way.
I know.
No.
I know. So then, he runs off, and that's it for that scene. We jump back to the high school. There's a piñata that looks of a girl, blonde girl, and it's supposed to be summer. And Pedro had set up this piñata, and people were hitting it. And then he ends up getting in trouble for that. So he talks to the principal, and Pedro he's like, I don't know what you guys do down in Juarez, but here in Idaho, we don't do that kind of thing. It's just, once again, just kind of subtly racist and not cool. And Pedro is so confused as to why it's wrong. He is an asshole. Pedro's just so confused as to why it's bad. Even like mentions it to Napoleon later on too. And then we also have the scene where Napoleon's at the thrift store, and you get the shot of like those old ass Mac computers from the 80s and shit like that, so outdated. And he finds a VHS of Dequan's like dance video or some shit like that, and he buys it, and then he goes home, learns the dances, which we'll get into very soon. We're almost done here. At this point, we go back to the house. He's been dancing. He comes out of the room. Another thing that I think is iconic, because I've always referenced it, but he goes to the refrigerator, pulls out the Gatorade, and the way he drinks the Gatorade, like straight up,
whips it up real quick. Yeah. Like he deserves it. Like he's been working so fucking hard. Like he's been working a 9 to 5, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and he deserves this drink. And he burps. Remember he burps after too?
It's a gross burp.
It's such a disgusting, sleazy burp.
Yeah. And then this is where Napoleon actually meets LaFonda, because she's sitting at the dining room table waiting for Kip, and they meet each other. She tells him about her cousin, gives him her cousin's mixtape, and then we see Kip again, but he's different. He's
different.
He's wearing much more urban clothes, like hip hop urban clothes.
He's got a do-rag on. He's wearing a
do-rag on, the big chain, which LaFonda gave him earlier in the movie. And it just, oh God, it looks so stupid. It's so dumb, but it's so funny.
It's just, again, dude, love knows no bounds. This is a guy that will do anything for his love. And it's cute. It's endearing. It's fun.
Yeah. So then we jump once again, dude, jumping around so much. We go to glamour shots by Deb, to her her little makeshift studio. And Uncle Rico's there by himself. It's creepy. Dude. It's weird. He takes the glamour shots, but then like, remember the way he's posing like this with like his chin on his fist. And then at the end, like the flies like flying around his face and everything. It's so good. And then that scene ends with him giving Deb like a sheet of paper of like the press augmentation.
Well, the fist scene was earlier on in the movie. This scene is just him like trying to redo it, but this purpose of this scene specifically was just to give her the breast augmentation paper, and he sneaks up behind her and he stands like within like a foot or two behind her, and she turns around, and that's just like not okay, dude. That's just fucking weird shit.
It was way creepy. Yeah,
but funny because again, like we know Rico in the context of this movie isn't like a pedophile. He's just a fucking immature douchebag.
He really
like that's it.
Fighting with his 16-year-old nephew. Yeah.
Just an immature douchebag.
Literally never grew up. That's his whole thing. He never grew up. Never got past high school. He peaked in high school. Talking about, going, if he would have won state that year, he could have gone pro. Idiot. So then, he leaves the studio, and then it jumps to the next shot back at the next scene at Napoleon's house. Napoleon gets the call from Deb. She's saying he's a jerk because of what Uncle Rico did. Napoleon's pissed, goes outside, to the front yard, and Uncle Rico has his camera set up, his bitch throwing footballs at the camera again. Napoleon tells him off, tells him to leave.
He's like, Grandma called and said she didn't want you here no more, so you can get out of here. Right. He says, no, I don't think I'll say. He's like, get off my property, we'll call the cops. It's a free country. It's like, dude, this is like two children arguing with each other. Like none of what you're saying makes any fucking sense.
Oh, it's so funny. And then so we jump to another scene where Uncle Rico is at Starla's house, Rex Kwon-do, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah, Starla.
And Starla is his wife, and he's talking to her about the breast enhancement surgeries. And then there's a part where he has the Tupperware and he puts them over his own chest, like their boobs. And then Rex walks into the house.
What does he do? What does he do?
he goes.
That's it.
That's quick like, little.
Dude, one of the best like little fucking millisecond things of the whole movie. Just that little.
Like, that is so stupid. Because when he does it, it completely cuts to a shot of like the front of the house, and then you hear Uncle Rico getting punched,
smashing, and all those
so
other things.
Funny. Yeah.
But like Starla, like Uncle Rico was talking to Starla about breast enhancement, and she's like, you know what, I don't feel comfortable reading this, and he's like, do you feel comfortable with me? And he's such a sleazeball, and he grabs the pots and puts them over her breasts, and he's like, oh yeah, you could be this, and that's when Diedrich Bader comes in. It was just like that one little punch, so fucking good.
Oh, it's so it was perfect. It was the only good reaction that character could have had.
Absolutely,
just that one little punch. Because that little punch is very like elementary school. It's like
it is.
When you're a little kid,
you're done, bro. You're done.
But when you're a little kid, you do that. Oh, it's so stupid. That was a good pop.
I tried to. I thought it was a good pop. I tried to look to see if like that was a Diedrich Bader thing, or if that was written in there. I couldn't find it. I want to like think that was like Diedrich Bader. He just like, yeah, I got it, and did that, and that called it a day. Like, that's a cool like improvisational thing.
It was good. It was fantastic. And now we get to the climax of the movie. We jump back to the high school, and it's Pedro versus Summer. They each have to do their own skit, and Summer gets her sign language group together, and they're dressed up in dance uniforms, and they're doing sign language to Backstreet Boys' "Larger Than Life."
Like kind of all the good parts of "Larger Than Life" too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
It
was so good. It was so funny. I think that part is better and funnier than Napoleon's part where he dances.
That's wrong. You're just saying that because it's popular and that's just what you do. It's always going to be that one time in the podcast where you think like, oh, I'm going to say something that's counterintuitive and against the grain. This is it right here. That's fine.
So she does that, and then her douchebag boyfriend's in the audience, and the terrible actor he's overacting to the extreme in the audience.
Is that nobody else really cares, or is that just like the character? Like, hey, dude, like be the most obnoxious piece of shit you could possibly be. And
it's bad acting. It's bad acting.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is. It is because it's too over the top. It's
he's the only person in the entire movie that does over the top. That's to the point where it's like, dude, that's bad. He's the only person. Everybody else in the movie is over the top, but in a tasteful manner. He's the only person that's over the top.
Exactly.
Looks like shit.
And that's bad acting. That's bad acting.
Or that's
everybody else nails it.
Or that's because he's a good actor and they told him, hey, dude, be the fucking worst be the worst possible person you could possibly be. He's like, all right, I got you.
I still think it's bad acting. I think
that's good acting. That's character acting to a T.
So then that skit is done. And then Pedro realizes I have nothing. And then Napoleon comes in, saves the day. And he does this improv dance, which was actually, most of it was improvised when they filmed it. They filmed it 3 different times to 3 different songs. They did it to Jamiroquai's Canned Heat, which they ended up using in the movie. They did it to another Jamiroquai song, but I don't remember the name of it. And to a Michael Jackson song, which I don't even think John Heder remembers what song it was. And they did the 3 different takes because they didn't have the rights to any of the songs yet. So they were just hoping for the best, that they can get the rights to one of those songs. And it ended up being Canned Heat's Jamiroquai. Also, when they filmed it, they were down to, because this entire movie was actually filmed on film, on reels.
It's tape.
Yeah. So it was literally to tape. and they had 10 minutes of tape left. That's literally all they this is something out of a movie, like just this story. It's kind of dramatic, but yeah, it was down to the last 10 minutes of the tape, or maybe 15 minutes, and they just kind of shot their shot, and the 3 takes were done, and he improvised pretty much the entire thing, and we get this, which is great.
Good. It's fantastic. Fucking good, dude. Like John Heder is a good dancer, because like dancing, right, is one thing, and to call somebody a good dancer, John Heder is a good dancer, too great dancer, because the majority of people on Earth are pretty shitty dancers. Like, I know for a fact I'm a shitty dancer, and I know for a fact that you're even worse. So, like, to throw John Heder in that, like, John Heder's a good dancer, too a great dancer, because the subsect of like great dancers is probably like this big, and come on. This is a great scene. This is a great scene for him to like improvise most of these things just based off of past experiences, things that he liked to watch, SNL skits, other music videos that he like put in the brain, the dome there, and then threw out. It's solid. 10 minutes of dancing cut into like what, a minute and a half, 2 minutes of perfection. It's good.
It is. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I do enjoy it.
God, you're such
I have nothing bad to say about it. I have nothing bad to say about it.
You just don't like it because it's popular. This is like the most popular scene of all Napoleon Dynamite, and therefore you have to hate it. Here's where the fight comes in. Here we go, baby boy. Here we go, baby boy.
Wrong.
Because
you're wrong
this
there.
is so popular, because he's wearing the Vote for Pedro t-shirt, and they sold that shit a Hot Topic. Tyler has to like come down off his
the
fucking
moon
horse
boots and everything too. Yeah.
All right, kids, you get off my fucking lawn here. This is too popular now. Actually, the truly better scene is the one that comes right before it. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. This is an amazing dance sequence. We haven't seen an amazing dance sequence like this since like Footloose. Okay,
okay,
baby boy, fuck out of here.
All right. So it is a great scene. It's the climax of the whole movie.
It's an amazing scene. It's not a great
Pedro
scene,
ends up,
scene. Iconic scene, historic scene.
Everybody in the audience stands up, is applauding. The asshole boyfriend's really confused as to why everyone's doing it. Oh, he's making those stupid faces. I hate it so much.
Good. It is so good.
So then he ends up becoming, student body president. And then the last part of the movie here is just a montage of wrapping up what happens with everybody. And Kip and Kip and LaFonda. It's not even funny.
It's funny.
Kip and LaFonda.
I think it's funny.
Kip and LaFonda they go back to Detroit. They're at the bus stop. They both go back to Detroit together.
What does Skip do in line though? He's doing like these little fucking hand things, right? He's doing
doing the little.
He's like dancing with his hands.
Dancing, yeah. Oh, it's so stupid. And then, Uncle Rico is back in his van in the middle of nowhere. His ex-girlfriend who dumped him at the beginning of the movie, right before the movie, her name's Tammy. She comes back on a bike. They reunite. They kind of fall in love again.
That's Kip's, the guy that plays Kip. That's his wife in real life.
Yeah, I know.
And
it's crazy.
Why the fuck does Uncle Rico get a happy ending? I don't like it. I just don't like it.
That's true. Wait, is Uncle Rico at the wedding at the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is he?
Yeah.
Is she there too?
There's a girl behind the second row that looks kind of like her,
but I don't think
it's her.
Yeah.
Because a girl in that shot, she's a little more Asian, a little more darker skin, little complexion.
Yeah, I thought like Native American almost. Yeah, like part Native American.
Just like darker complexion overall. And the girl that's sitting behind Grandma in the wedding scene just doesn't. It looks kind of like her, but it's
not her. Yeah,
I don't think it's her.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like it does irritate me that. But also that wedding scene was shot after. That wasn't like a part of the movie.
It was a few months after. Yeah,
it's just several months after. It kind of bothers me that Uncle Rico got like a happy ending, but maybe that's just like a Mormon thing. And I don't fucking know.
I mean, but everybody got a happy end. Everybody had a happy ending.
Everybody deserved a happy ending except for Rico. He's a douchebag. He's a fucking asshole. He's a pedophilic asshole, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So then Pedro's ending is, he's there. He's a huge party in the park. His family are celebrating that he became president, a student body president, it's so funny. But those kind of parties we've all been to. We all know those kind of parties. They're a ton of fun. If you grow up in Southern California, you've been to parties like that. So yeah, there's that. And then the very last part is Napoleon and Deb playing tetherball at the school, and they're playing together, and then that's their happy ending. And then the credits roll.
Best, dude. That's the best happy ending right there. Because we already saw Napoleon trying to hit out with Summer and Trish, and like the popular girls just throw him to the side, and he's playing tetherball by himself, and you kind of like think, oh, kid's kind of a loser, but he's just happy, not a loser. He's happy, like being by himself, and that's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. But then Deb comes in along, and she integrates into herself into his life, and like the tetherball thing, dude, that was a good scene right there.
I thought it was a really good ending.
That was cute.
And the credits roll, and then we have the scene that was filmed several months later, maybe a year later.
It was after the movie started making a fuck ton of money. They're like, oh shit, we should film another scene.
Yeah, so this is the wedding scene between Kip and LaFonda. They get married. They get married, and then
it's actually a beautiful wedding. Like that was a fucking cool ass place to get married.
It does look really. It's like in like the middle of nowhere, Idaho, like with all the hills and the grass, and it's green. It's
not
actually
a road
very
in
beautiful.
sight. Like the 360 view, not a road in sight.
It actually is very beautiful, yeah. And then the officiant is Dale Dale, the farmer guy, and it's hard to understand what he's saying, but what he says seems very genuine and from the heart. Like I said, after reading more about this guy, I really like him a lot more, and it just makes the scene so much better. And then Kip sings a song, and LaFonda's side of the family, they're just shaking their head, or especially the brother just shaking his head, just can't believe it. But it's so endearing, and it's just cute. It's just kind of cute, you know. He's just such an innocent guy, and then all of a sudden Napoleon comes up riding on a horse.
The way he rides the horse, though,
he's like, so awkward. He's never ridden a horse.
Like the horse is fucking him up. Every gallop that he takes, the horse is fucking him up.
He's so stiff and kind of like leaning back. Oh god, it's so funny.
Dead. Like Weekend at Bernie's, like he's already dead on the back of that horse.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. And then he gets to it's that whole scene where he's riding up on the horse reminds me a lot of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The scene where John Cleese is running up to the castle, and it's the same shot of him running up to the castle. Do you remember that part?
I don't watch that kind of like British bullshit.
Maybe Skip might know what I'm talking about, or people who like good movies might know what I'm talking about. But it reminds me of that scene where it's like the same shot played over and over again, just for comedic effect. And then so he gets to the wedding, and he says, "Sorry, I'm so late. I was taming this honeymoon." Wait, what did he say?
Wild honeymoon horse.
Honeymoon stallion. That's
honeymoon stallion.
Honeymoon stallion. I was just taming it. Oh, God, just what a great stupid line.
What a great gift. Like the guy's like, come on, that's a good fucking gift, dude. You know what I mean? Like you missed the wedding because you're bringing like a horse so you can like ride on horseback to where your honey fucking moon is through this beautiful countryside. Like Napoleon's a homie. Dude's a homie.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It was great. It was a great way to end the movie. I love that extra scene. So that's it. That's what we have for the movie. That's what we have for the music and everything. This is way more long-winded than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. That's fine.
There's good stuff here.
Let's give our final thoughts on the movie, the soundtrack. We're going to rate them both separately, and we're going to base it off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album to give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard, or soundtrack in this case. So what do you got? Go.
The movie's obviously a 3. It's a 3 out of 3. It's a perfect movie. It's one of the most funny movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It's definitely up there in like the top 20 like funniest movies I've ever seen in my life for sure. It's a little bit different. Like it kind of showcased that like cinema can take something so low budget, so lowbrow, so weird and quirky and make a fuck ton of money. Right? We saw it with like Paranormal Activity. Like that made so much fucking money. It's such a low budget. Little Miss Sunshine made so much fucking money on a little budget. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to why a movie that is so like unique and weird and quirky, because most of the stuff doesn't make a lot of money and it falls into obscurity. Like, what is the formula to make a good movie on a small budget? I don't know. But Napoleon Dynamite was kind of like, I don't know, kind of like one of the first ones to really do it and blow up and become like a national sensation.
Yeah.
Because unlike other movies that made a fuck ton of, like Lost in Translation made a fuck ton of money on a low budget, but like Napoleon Dynamite did it and it became like a national treasure. Like, we still quote Napoleon Dynamite to this day. Like, your mom does this. Your mom does this. That's fucking from Napoleon Dynamite. People are quoting that shit. Like, the Vote for Pater t-shirts. They just started like stopping probably selling that shit. That was like fucking 20 years after the movie was made.
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite is just like it's something else. It is so bizarre. It is so out there. It's perfect writing. Everything about it. The soundtrack, it's not really a soundtrack. Like, there's a couple songs there here and there that are bangers, and they fit in the movie very, very well. But overall, the soundtrack is really from that one dude who I forgot what his name was. John Stalwart.
Josh.
Josh Freese. I don't know.
Josh Freese. Yeah.
Whoever the guy was that did the actual score of the movie. He's kind of like the unsung hero, because it's easy. It's just like a really good song into a movie and make that scene great. Like, anybody can do that. Throw a couple dollars at something. Give Jamiroquai. Jamiroquai's from England too. I bet you skip like
I didn't know that
shit. Yeah, they're from England.
Yeah, I did not know that.
England, from fucking London. See, now when we do like the accents, he can really see how
shaking the head and
how I guess how much we thumb our nose. You bite your fucking thumb at me, sir. How much we bite our thumbs at the English people. That's a
you actually kind of reminded me of Peaky Blinders right there, because I'm rewatching it right now with Tammy because she really wanted to watch it. Yeah, you sound like one of the Peaky Blinders.
It's a law on our side if I say aye, nay, not by my thumb at you, sir, but by my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir? Quarrel, sir? No, sir. Anyway.
So stupid.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Spoilers.
Movie, 3 out of 3. Soundtrack. Honestly, I don't know. Like a 1.5. I don't know. I don't know what to give the soundtrack. It's not really a soundtrack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I don't know. 3 for the movie. Soundtrack, 1 to 2, I guess.
1 to 2. Okay. Yeah, I think this movie, the writing, the budget, everything about this movie was just the right place, the right time. It was done. It was so endearing. It was just done perfectly. Great world building, both visually and just, dialogue, acting. Everything was it's fantastic about this movie. Yeah, it kind of sucks that, all of the marketing just kind of, I don't want to say ruin the jokes, but they really just overexposed all of or not all of the jokes, but some of them. And that sucks, but take that out of the whole context of it all, the picture of it all. This is a perfect movie. It's the perfect amount of funny. I don't know what you're doing.
That was a 3 out of 3. I knew you were going to give this movie a perfect 3 out of 3.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, now that I missed, I'm gonna guess what you're gonna give the things.
So yeah, this movie is a perfect 3 out of 3. And once again, the soundtrack, it's nothing really to write home about, but it's perfect for the kind of craziness of the movie, or not the craziness, but how kind of bootleg the movie is and where they filmed it. So it makes sense to throw songs from the 80s and a couple from the 90s in here. I think that's perfect because it kind of just shows how backwards, but how kind of behind the times fashion and pop culture is, and especially back then in these particular areas. But in the end, they didn't have a big budget, so the soundtrack's not going to be crazy. I'll give it a 1.25.
Oh, damn, girl.
1.25. No shit. You guessed it right.
That's the shit right there. Thank you very much.
You know me too well, I guess. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell all your friends. Hope you guys enjoyed this video podcast. YouTube, it's going to be all over YouTube as well. We're blowing up. We're blowing up, baby. So that's all I got. And that's it. That's all.